Okay, welcome back to the channel here with week 6 of competition prep. After last week, I was a little beat up, or I thought I was, and I thought I was going to use this as a deload. But then, I'm going to explain how I like to deload, or how I think about deloading, and explain why it didn't end up looking like a deload, but in fact, to me, kind of it was. But yeah, I don't know if you're seeing it, but the shirt that I'm wearing is one of the first Kaizen fitness performance apparel that I have. I'm wearing one right now as well, right here. If you want some, go to the description. There's a link for more apparel. There's different brands with it. I think we have Lululemon in there, Nike, some other brands too. So check it out. And if you want to support the channel, buy some gear from there. That would be appreciated. But yeah, so the way I see deloads is I think there's two types of deloads that are needed, or that I think I need sometimes. A physical one, which is very unlikely for me. I never overreach to a point where, I need a physical deload, like I need to just back off for a little bit. I do deload, quote unquote, after competitions, but I consider that more like the second type of deload. And I think this week right here, week 6, was more of a mental deload. So a mental deload, what it is for me, is a week where I go in with no expectations. I go in kind of like without a program, let's call it like a transition week. And I just do things. And if I feel good, I will do a lot of weight. If I don't feel as good, I will not do a lot of weight. But I don't follow a program, or I follow a program that I wanted to try, or something that I wanted to try myself, for my athletes, for me, for, I don't know, any type of app or program that I see on the internet. And like, okay, let's try for a week. That week, like always, they always have that free trial week. And something like that, like just like to, try things. So that's what I would consider a mental deload, kind of like getting off program for a little bit and just going to the gym and doing stuff. So for this week, I was following the athlete program bundle of Mayhem Athlete, the Rich Froning CrossFit app, and I'm gonna stick with this app, but more so because of the conditioning, and I'll make a video about that probably week 7 when I start adding more conditioning and more cardio and how I feel about it. But yeah, I got a week free trial week for that, and they are partnered with Bergener Strength, which, I mean, they are amazing. He is a legend in the field. So, I don't know, wanted to try it. And this week in their program, they had 10x1s in a lot of stuff. And they did say to stick to a percentage. Depending on how I was feeling, I went above that percentage. So I did snatch balance 10x1. I did snatches 10x1. I was going to what it felt perfect. And to me, that was today 165, which is approximately like 80%, 83%, I think, of my max. And then back squat, same thing. I was doubting whether to do front or pause or not pause. And I ended up doing not pause, but the first couple of reps, I did do some pauses. Also, just sidetracking a little bit. How cool is the logo behind the shirt, huh? It's Hazel holding a weight. By the way, Hazel is my chocolate lab, my dog. And yeah, I just wanted to come up with something that would kind of like represent me. And I think a dog or a Labrador holding a weight in their mouth was perfect for this scenario. And I got that shirt in black, which is a kind of like a off-brand shirt. And I have a TYR shirt right here with the same thing on our back. A dog, the same image or art. If you want TYR apparel from me, let me know in the comments, or just try to find me somewhere around here. There should be my social media, my Instagram, or my what do you call it, my website, and then you can let me know through there what you guys would like and how we can come up with how you can get that apparel for yourself. But in the website that's on the description, you will get a lot of good brands. Nike, Lululemon, which is very exciting. I love Lululemon. So you can get it from there if you want anything either. Second day I did clean and jerks, power clean and split jerks, 10 by 1s. I did a couple of clean pulls. I did not do 10 by 1 there. I just did like 3 sets at more than 100% of my clean max. Yeah, and again, just I think, well, first of all, I think physical deloads. Okay, let's go one step at a time. I think systematic physical deloads are potentially a waste of time. Worst case scenario, they're a waste of time. Best case scenario, they might do something, but like I don't program percentages, but I think percentage wave or percentage loading, and not so much like linear progression, but like wave or block cycling of percentages does sometimes need a deload, because kind of like it percentage undershoots, overshoots for a week, and then after overshooting you do need to maybe get a deload to keep the blocks coming. But as I don't program percentages for myself, I sometimes program percentages for my weightlifters, to depending on the season, to be like, maybe we should be hitting this right now for this number of reps. It would be a good sign. But for my athletes, especially the ones that are obviously play another sport and they're not into strength sports, I think percentages are, I don't know, they're just like, sometimes they're random. Sometimes 85% might feel like 75%, so you don't get anything out of it in terms of strength. But sometimes 70 or 85 feels like 95, and now you can't hit the reps that are prescribed. Then you get flustered, you get very frustrated, and it just adds to a negative cycle of I'm not that strong, and then it kind of like just starts a cycle of blaming, like, oh, why didn't you hit this number of reps with this percentage? It must be because you are not eating right. It must be because you're not eating enough. It must be because you're not sleeping enough. But that, like, it's a reductionist view of what athleticism or what athletic performance is, because there's so many factors that you can account for, like extra stress in practice, extra excitement in practice, something with your relative or significant others, like so many stuff. Maybe you slept well, but maybe you didn't sleep. Like you could have eaten and slept so much throughout the days, and then just have one day where you practice a little extra hard and just fuck up those percentages. So that's why I'd rather set up, we're gonna work up to a heavy 5 today, and then the athlete just ends up with a heavy 5 that they're trained on and they work hard on and they're proud of, because they just gave whatever they had that day, instead of oh, if you didn't hit 85, you're a complete failure. Like, I don't think that is fair for an athlete, and I definitely felt that way sometimes when percentages were assigned to me as an athlete. So that's why I don't program percentages. But again, coming back to the deload, I think sometimes percentage blocks, percentage waves, percentage linear progression sometimes needs a deload, because at one point you are systematically overreaching, and that might be a little fatiguing. If you were to do based on auto regulation, if you feel good, then you would, you would go for it. If you don't feel good, you don't go as hard. You kind of, you may have, the ideas of, if I get above 80% today, I'm tired, but that's a good sign. And then just, I think auto regulation also really teaches you how to, learn about your body, learn about yourself, learn about how you strain, how you deal with moments where you're not as great physically, and how to deal with that, and how to push through or not push through, or push around or change or substitute. I think auto regulation just gives you a lot of benefits in terms of how you treat your body as an athlete than just percentage prescription. But again, physically, because I do auto regulation, and if a week or a day I don't feel it, I don't go for it. It kind of like the deloads per se are just kind of like built in. Like if I don't feel it, I don't go for it. If I feel it, I go for it. I always train as hard as I can that day, and that is where, I don't try to max out every day, meaning I don't try to go for PR every day, but I do kind of max out every day. I kind of go as hard, heavy as I can go that day. And I don't know, that just taught me so much about my body and about me as an athlete, and as, as a human being. But then, sometimes I do feel the need of a mental deload. Sometimes I feel like, I follow a program for 8 weeks to the T, and I'm like, I just need a week where I want to play some tennis. I want to come to the gym and do some other program or some other things. I want to do some more swimming, or I want to do some other different stuff. And that's where I would consider the mental deload to kick in. I think mental deloads are very beneficial. If you, I think they're great, especially after competition. Honestly, like after, you might not notice it, but after you've been preparing for 16 weeks or 12 weeks for a competition, and that competition happens, and you feel relieved that when the adrenaline just like it's gone because the competition is done, like I don't know, I feel like always when I finish a competition, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And then after 2 weeks, I'm ready to come back. But that is where I think the mental deloads kick in. And I think that is why some mini mental deloads may be needed, like I'm doing here for a week. And then that's why, to me, to my athletes, I always encourage them after, a whole season, and after the big tournament, or after a really, really big meet, or a big competition, I encourage them to just take as much time as they need until they're really eager to come back. Because sometimes we just think athletes really don't want to work, and I think that's a very, very false belief. Like, athletes want to work, athletes want to get better, especially at the Division 1 level. They want to get more athletic. They just, either based on what they've heard, their history, their previous doctors or PTs, they have some beliefs that you just have to navigate with them. And I've seen that on average, when I tell my athletes that, they come back in 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. If there's a built-in spring break or Easter break, they come back. And again, a month off might seem like a lot, and it can be, but if you look at the bigger picture, of how many weeks, how many training sessions, how many hours you can put in the next 11 months until the next conference. It's not. It's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. I had very little athletes take 4 weeks. The average for me, I think, is 2 weeks, 2 weeks and a half. And I think the less that you push them in, the less that you know, oh no, you have to come in tomorrow. Like, even if they did horrendous in the season, like if you just force them, you're just gonna burn them out sooner. So I'm definitely, I don't like to do that with myself. So I'm definitely not gonna do that with my athletes. Big Friday. I think we went for big numbers here. What did I say last week? I think week 5 I ended up with what, 185 and 225. So this week I think I should have ended with 190 or 187. Ooh, I did 190. Okay, so I ended up with 190. So next week expect 192 potentially. And I think I did 230. I think I finished with 230. I think there was a couple of, let me see, I don't remember if I failed or not, but yeah. Again, you might be thinking deload, big Friday, going for big numbers. Like, yeah, like I felt deloaded after a week of doing whatever I wanted, following the program, doing a little more conditioning sessions from the app as well. I don't know, I just felt good. I felt relieved. I felt mentally fresh, and I just went for it. If I wasn't feeling it, I wouldn't do it. Again, talking a little technique, I still see a lot of my initial body reaction being opening up instead of coming up and then waiting and being patient. That's something I will need to work on. But I just need to be patient a little bit. That is what? 275, 95. This is 215. I don't know if you saw that shirt, but that shirt is something that we like to call the Bronx Barbell Collective. It is something that we're working on as a competitive strength club. The link is in the description. If you want to apply to compete with us, please apply. We're still trying to figure all the details and the times and everything out. So we will come back to you as quickly as we can. But if you want to apply, if you like competing in weightlifting, CrossFit, bodybuilding, powerlifting, 230, no misses. That was good. And I think I did 10 by 1 here at front squat too. But yeah, the Bronx Barbell Collective, competitive weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding, CrossFit, any type of strength sport that you can think of. We will create this club where you can come and compete train to compete in an environment where everyone is looking for the same thing, being competitive in their strength sport. And there's gonna be a group of savages training as humanly hard as they can. So if you want to apply for that, the link is in the description as well. Nice. What was that? 245. If you want some free resources, for right now, I think I have my ebook, small ebook in weightlifting for sports performance, and my weightlifting template for how to program in week, in a month, in a year. They are in the description as well in my website, kaizenfitnessperformance.com. What else is there? If you want my programs, I currently have 5 programs in Train Heroic. I have the weightlifting program. I have the strength program, which is powerlifting or just trying to get strength in the deadlift, bench press, and squat. I have the Everfit program, which is the more aesthetic oriented or bodybuilding oriented program. And I have a program specifically designed towards more female needs. It's the She Kaizen. I don't know if it's live yet, but it has to. If you're interested in that one and it's not on Train Heroic, let me know. But I'll try to post it really soon. So yeah, good deload week. Again, mental deload week, and I explained the difference between physical and mental deloads. But if you want to hear more about how my training is going, if you want me to continue with the series and support the channel, please subscribe to the channel, and then comment, like, share as much as you can, because that helps me get into the algorithm. And see you guys next week.